and myself. So we'll be giving some updates and answer any questions. We got a lot of questions this week in the weekly AMA questions channel. You can still jump in there and add anything in around staking or any other questions that you have. Really grateful that all of you are here for the amazing work that the community's done over the last week helping out with staking. So we'll definitely be addressing some of those concerns and giving you some updates as far as the easiest and best ways that you can stake your Axolittles and everything else exciting that's coming up with those. So thank you so much for being here, for being part of the community. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's happening, and really grateful that you're here and sharing your amazing memes and your amazing hype in this main chat here. So for today, we've got Minnie. We'll be able to answer any questions. We're really going to focus this on Axolittles. I know we've had a lot of partners over the last few weeks. We've had some amazing guests, and we'll continue to have those. But today, we really wanted to focus it on the community here, and then in the future, we'll be focusing it again and inviting guests and things like that from across the ecosystem as we establish more of those partnerships. Today, we'll go through some updates. I also am going to review the Thanksgiving Steak meme channels. So thank you everyone who's got your stake, who's staked on the appropriate meme that you think should be the winner. We're going to be selecting some winners, and then we'll be chatting with Nate as well. So thanks everyone for being here. First of all, what's up, Minnie? Do you want to introduce yourself as well?
So, hey, it's me, Minnie. As you know, probably by now, I'm the artist for Axolittles and one of the founders of the project. So, yeah, I'm happy today to answer questions and everything. And it seems like we've got Nate with us. Hey.
Hey, Nate. How's it going?
Hey, everyone. It's good. Sorry for being late. Just had something running over right before this, but happy to be here.
Awesome. Great to have you here. We just started kicking everything off. We are going to go through some updates. We're going to review some of the Thanksgiving steak memes, and then of course we'll do a little bit of chatting with you and answer any questions around staking, and also what it's like to be the Axolittles whale. That's what everyone wants to really know who's here.
Great.
So cool. If you are listening, you can still. We'll give you a few extra minutes here to jump into the Thanksgiving steak meme channel if you want to throw some vote on one of your favorite memes, and we'll review that here at the end. So I guess the first thing I just wanted to address for everyone that's listening, I just want to apologize for myself and from the team for the communication just around the staking launch. It took us longer than expected, and we've been working really, really hard behind the scenes here to get everything out. We do anticipate shipping this today, and if you're listening right now, you can get a sneak peek at staking.axolittles.io. I'm not sure I'm supposed to say that yet, and you can expect a few UI changes and some features added, but we'll be sharing that update later today, so you heard it here first, and we're really excited to actually be getting that out and to be making it super easy for everyone to stake. That being said, we've seen a ton of people already staking. The numbers are super high, and we'll be sharing, the exact numbers and just a kind of status bar as far as the percentage that are staked with the community. It's been really impressive, and I should say, like on a personal level, having watching the bubbles roll in already has been really fun. So what we're now focused on, obviously, is what the utility is around these bubbles, what we can do with them, and we'll be talking about a little bit about that as well. And maybe Nate, it looks like you've got some of yours staked already too. How did that process go for you?
Yeah, it went well. I mean, I think Melon did a great job on the third-party community site. I basically decided to wait to stake any of mine until I felt like the community had some time to do stuff, because I know it initially came out with just the contract, and then I was like, okay, well, I need to have it by my Spaces talk. So I'm just gonna wake up when gas is cheap and just dump them all in. So yeah, I mean all 210 I think are in there now. Definitely, as always with NFT staking, gas is a pain. This is not a unique experience to Axolittles. This is just how it always is with these. But I've also had a lot of good returns and happy usage from other NFT staking I've done. So it just makes me excited to do even more. And yeah.
Yep, that's great. And and Minnie, on your side, do you want to? I know you've been working also with the designer. Do you want to give kind of an update on anything else we can share about the actual interface going live too?
Oh, you meant okay. I thought you were asking about the 3D art, but so for the
oh no, sorry, just around the interface first.
So for the interface, I think I mostly designed the interface that you're going to see on the website on staking.axolittles.io. I still don't know if I should share it as well because I haven't tested the features, but I guess I trust the dev. So yeah, you'll probably see a few UI changes. We have a look in mind. So I guess I have nothing new to say. You'll see how it looks.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll give an official update once everything is finalized. Again, we're aiming to do that shortly here. And thank you everyone for your patience. It's definitely a major step to get this off the ground and to be adding all this utility for the entire community. And I just want to quickly touch maybe on before diving into some more discussion with Nate, just what and some of the AMA questions, just at a high level, what you'll be able to use these for. This is outlined in the article as well, but there's basically a few main use cases that you'll have for earning bubbles. First of all, as you can see in the article, you'll be getting 100 per day, so you can start accruing those. That's per Axolitl. You'll be able to use these for purchasing Axoquarium items. We're also working with partners on several different models for being able to use these, from minting projects and just having access to just getting airdrops for having these tokens. And of course, the last thing is physical merch. So we're working on all the merch. So as you start accruing these, you can start to picture your Axolitl's plushies in your mind, and we'll be working out all the dynamics around that and how you'll use those in the future here. So definitely a bunch of use cases. We're really emphasizing, into the ecosystem and how this token is really going to have a lot of use across projects and across the ecosystem. So we're really focused on that and really excited about that. And for me personally, like I mentioned, it's also just fun watching them come in and accruing. I think the bubble is a good fun analogy to watch kind of come in the Axoquarium. So that's happy to answer any more questions about the use cases, but we'll definitely be rolling those out. And yeah, with that being said, around the Axoquarium, I think we're waiting to share some major updates around that, but I don't know if there's any Minnie, and if not, that's okay too.
So it cut a little bit, but do you want to ask if we have updates?
Yeah, just anything you can share around Axoquarium.
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a bottleneck, I would say, with the art side of the Axoquarium. Considering it's the most important part, we have to get it right. So I've been talking a lot with the devs. Each time it's so complicated, but I get a little bit confused, but we finally managed to get the art and the code side of things figured out. So with the artist as well, we were talking, we were working, and we should have probably all the art finished today and tomorrow we have to create a separate skin for the Galaxy Axolitlals. But yeah, so the art is finally finished pretty much after all this time, and after that we're moving the coding stage, stay with the devs. I think it shouldn't take too long. They've done things in the back that didn't require getting the art, and so hopefully we will get it soon. And as soon as I get the art of the 3D files, I'll probably post them on our Twitter. And if anyone wants to create some art or some funny animations, you'll be able to reconstruct your axolotl and have some fun with it. So yeah, I'm finally happy that we got the art and we can move on to the coding side of things.
Yeah, that is super exciting. You heard it here first. The art is done. I think this is moved at a super fast pace. All things considered, converting all of these into 3D objects is quite the task.
You have to consider that it's more than 150 attributes, and you have to. I created some things now that I regret, like changing random hues and stuff like that you see with axolotls. They have a lot of shades, attributes changing hues, like cat masks and dog masks all have a separate color. If you look at the OpenSea page for the listings, you'll see that they all have different colored masks. So it's a little bit complicated to replicate, but we finally have a way to get it done, and I'm happy with that. And yeah, it was a little bit complicated, but I think we've moved at a nice pace, considering a lot of bigger projects, like, for example, Bored Ape Yacht Club. If I've seen it correctly, they've promised also 3D models, but we're still a few months away from them delivering it. So maybe we'll get 3D apes in our Axoquarium before they actually get their own apes. So we'll see.
I can attest
that would be...
to the crazy timeline on this, because I was able to see some of this in the background, and I think it's just Minnie is a perfectionist, but not in a bad way. I think he does a great job of making sure the details are exactly right. He only wanted one artist, so the style was exactly the same for everything. And somehow they were able to fill out all of these attributes in such a short amount of time. I was very surprised, because 3D modeling is not easy.
Yeah, I'm really glad with this artist. He has worked with games before, so it was very nice. At first I had to choose between a few artists. I paid them to create a first model, and between them I chose this one, and I'm really happy with the result we've had.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like a lot of other projects I see, like Q3, Q4 2022 for shipping some of these types of 3D versions. So I think we're ahead, and really excited for what's next around the Axoquarium too. And cool, Nate, do you want to, for those who may not know you, I think most people here know you pretty well, but do you want to give a quick background on how you got into the community also, and just what kind of got you excited about axolotls to begin with?
Yeah, happy to. So I think I have a crypto background that goes back, to 2013, when I first tried to get, a Bitcoin miner working. Couldn't get it set up, and just kind of, stopped doing anything. And then a year later, bought a few Bitcoin, wrote a gambling bot with a friend, lost it all. At the time, it was like $100, so that was fine. And then, I've gone in and out through waves and stuff like that. I think 2017 was my first really engaged, really big year of focusing, playing all the ICOs, just trying different things. And then after that, bear market, I kind of got a little burned out and just, stepped away for a bit, came back in DeFi summer, and was just I never want to leave this space. I have so much fun in this space. And NFTs came out, and in full force, I had a CryptoKitty in 2018, 2017, but they just were so enjoyable to look at and see like what are the opportunities here. My first big win was definitely in Pudgy Penguins, picking up a bunch of those after seeing Scoopy Trooples change his profile picture to one, and it was still like 0.15 ETH at the time, and I was like, well, Scoopy changed his profile picture. This is going to go up. I'm going to grab a bunch of these. They're different from the other things I've seen. And then yeah, like those obviously did very well.
Nice.
And I think as I kind of took out some funds from that, I started looking for additional opportunities. Axolittles just like popped on my radar the day of mint, and I was like, oh wow, like these are super adorable gifts, and like I just want to go in, and I just minted a ton. But I also additionally like bought a ton over the next week or two, and there's really like some investment kind of philosophies that I look for with any project. And a big one was that I really wanted better communication with the team, and more importantly than like that, it's the quality of the communication, the belief that they're actually listening and that they're willing to take feedback. And that's something I got from Minnie very early on, and was like, okay, cool, I can like happily go in on this because I trust Minnie. He's listening, to feedback from me and the community. And then that brings up the second point is like community. Obviously, you want the community to be engaged, to be excited, to be doing what they can to promote the product and promote the project. And yeah, and so I just saw a bunch of that. I enjoyed like hanging out with the community here, and I realized that like a lot of the people coming to this were more so beginners to NFTs and crypto in general. Like at least I would say a decent amount of people, maybe relative to some other projects. And I think that's just something that is a personal thing I care about, is like making sure that like everybody's taken care of and everybody is like learning. Nothing bothers me more than when like someone drops a scam project and then takes a bunch of money out of the ecosystem, and 25% of those people, that was their first minted project, and now they're just going to leave and never come back. Because there's a lot of fun, a lot of opportunity, and I'm sure many other people here can attest to the fact that they're addicted to crypto, but they don't totally mind it. And yeah, so I think those all get into kind of the initial factors.
That's cool.
I think to add on, as I looked at the project and learned about the future of it and where many wanted to go with the X Aquarium, I thought that was like really awesome, and that excited me because I think a really big misstep in a lot of collaborations is that they focus on it from a competitive angle of let me collaborate with this project because they have a big community and I want to bring that community to buy my stuff, and the other side sees it the same way. With the X Aquarium, it opens up this opportunity for much more collaborations, and that's where you can, design these assets that are not, the core NFT. They're not really as relevant, but they're actually like usable in-game items, and you can make it so that outside third parties, besides the two in the collab, are just happy to like have that item, like. That sort of stuff really excited me and made me think there's a ton of potential here, as we focused on the collaboration aspect. And as you know, I own wagme.eth, the ENS name, and it's like something I do try to live by, and I do want to focus on in any project I'm promoting or invested in. So yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, and I know this community in general has been super welcoming and really helped to educate a lot of people that are coming in as well. And I know you're a big part of that as far as helping people get their foot in and see what's possible in this space, and then creating a super welcoming environment around that. It's definitely, when I first jumped into this community, the first thing I noticed, and I think it continues to be the case here. I do want to just shout out Subtle Gradient. I see you here too. Coinbase NFT. You were our first guest a few weeks ago, or I guess a month ago now, and really great to have you back here too, and for everything we've chatted about too. So we've definitely got some great people in the community. Just let me know if you want to jump on the stage here also. Cool. And looks like he's jumping in. Hey, how's it going?
So I put this hangout on my calendar, but then I had turned off all my notifications and I was on a work meeting, and so I missed the first half of it. So do you repeat the part of the things where you said the stuff? Also, nice to meet you, Nate. I've been wanting to chat with you for a while, and now I look really embarrassed because I have the wrong profile picture on for this chat. Please don't look.
Yeah. We know you've got an axolotl behind under those headphones.
It's axolittles all the way down.
Cool. Well, yeah, you'll have to listen back, but we're going live with the staking UI our own on our site. So we're really excited to announce that. Yep. So, and we'll be building that out to add a bunch of features for people here too. So really stoked to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Cool. Anything else, Nate, that you want to jump in on staking too, and kind of, I think before getting to the AMA here, and Subtle Gradient, if you want to stick around for the AMA too, maybe there's some questions for you. But Nate, anything else? I think from my perspective, and maybe there's people who are new to staking here or who are new to listening. Do you kind of want to maybe give an overview of how you've seen it play out in some other communities, or what you kind of see the main benefits from your perspective as for people that are kind of just joining or new to the staking process as well?
I think.
Oh, looks like I have to.
Yeah, Nate is.
Add Nate as speaker again.
Yeah. He was asking on Discord to add him again.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I had weird connection issues.
Let's see. Hopefully we can have... There we go. You're back.
Awesome. Yeah, could you repeat the question real quick?
Yeah, I guess I'm... before getting to the AMA here, I'm just wondering, around staking, you're talking about, welcoming new people and into the community. There may be some people here who are new to staking or are just kind of exploring it. Can you describe just a bit how you've seen it play out in other communities and just what you kind of see as the main benefits too in a community around staking?
Yeah, definitely. So if we want to go historically back a little bit, we can think of DeFi Summer, over a year ago, where there were all these yield farms coming out. Basically, the idea, you put in an asset, and then as it's sitting there, every block that goes by on Ethereum or whatever other chain, it'll earn yield, and so the yield would usually be the token for that yield farm. So if we have, for example, sushi had yield farms for Sushi Swap. You deposit in LP tokens, which are the pairings for those swap platforms of ETH with USDC or something. This would then farm you sushi. And so now you're earning this token for this platform, and you have the full range and gamut. You have these initial ones that are trying to build actual products on top of the platform, and they want to distribute a token fairly. Maybe they have zero team allocation. They just, people stake, and that's how they earn the token. That's the only way to get it. Then you'd have the meme coins, where they just kind of forked the concept, let you farm a token, and really had no plans for it. Maybe even we're going to rug it, all that sort of stuff. And so then you come into NFT staking, and you see kind of a variety of it. You see variations where you're staking ERC20 tokens, still non-NFT tokens, and then being able to earn points that allow you to mint NFTs. That's one form of it. The other form of NFT staking is the one that we're experiencing here with Axolittles, where you stake the actual NFT, and then you get a token out of that. And so I've had a few experiences, like I mentioned, with this form of staking, and they've been really positive. So they both have to do with the End project, which is a derivative of another project called Loot that was very popular. Basically, their intent is to be kind of building block NFTs for experiences in games and stuff. Think of it as not a visual picture, but just like in the End project's case, 8 random numbers on your NFT. And the idea would then be, okay, as a developer, I can go make, randomly generated art, and you can kind of base it off of what NFT you're going to use. Like that's the random seed to generate it. If you're familiar with Minecraft and how it generates worlds, you put in a seed, and then that seed is used to determine how the world gets generated. It's kind of that's kind of conceptually how the End project works. So going to staking with those, 2 different projects built on top of that. The first was Treasure. They made it so you could stake your ends and then earn magic, and then they eventually actually migrated to Arbitrum. It's been a whole thing of them putting up the first NFT marketplace on Arbitrum. But because of all this stuff, they've been, actively making the token useful in different ways. So now you can go to their marketplace and pick up NFTs on Arbitrum using the Magic token. So like that's, obviously performed very well, become very useful, and been really exciting to be a person holding Magic, as well as like, I'm continuing to farm Magic because I've enjoyed, what I've gotten so far out of it. Nil DAO,
But is it as good as Bubbles?
Nothing's as good as Bubbles, but I think it gives you insights into what Bubbles can become as you look at kind of like the future. And like the nice thing with Axolittles is there's a clear platform coming. That's like the biggest thing is you want to know that like this token, there's a point to it. Like it's not just completely nothing. Obviously, it's valueless, as we all know, but it's like, you're going to use it for, getting in-game items for the X Aquarium and everything. And so then the Nil DAO token is another one. Nil DAO just wants to be a DAO on top of the End project NFT I was mentioning earlier. Stake that and like earn the Nil token, which they're using for their own kind of marketplace and stuff on Ethereum. And so yeah, it's like as long as there's actual things to do with it, like getting to stake an NFT and earn a token is just great. It's just like I already had this thing, I already believed in this thing on its own. Now it's doing even more for me, and I can use it in like so many other ways. So
yeah, that's an awesome overview, and I think there's a lot we could dive into in those different kind of phases. I think like one of the important takeaways for me is just that there's so many different there's so much utility that's just opened up that you can build on top of it, that you can integrate in. And so part of, obviously, we have a vision and a roadmap for some of these use cases that we've outlined, but I think the even more exciting part is even just exploring what else we could do with this. And that's something that we really want to build together with the community, and grow together with, how watching how other projects are doing it too, and seeing some of the innovations that they're opening up and really exploring those too. So I think that's part of the excitement too, is that we know we'll be able to use them for certain things, like you're mentioning, like in-game items or different things like that. But there's also a lot of the unknown where, you could just watch those bubbles flow in, and and we'll be adding more and more utility for what it means to be collecting those.
Yeah, I'd say that's a really good point that I'd like to add on to. In NFT projects, I found it's a weird mix of like you do really want to care about the team, but you also want to like really watch what the community is doing. I think like when communities are actively building, that just 10x's things, whereas the team can 2x 3x things. It's kind of like there's so much power and capability across the community, things that like you could never get and hire for well on a team, and that you could never like get all of that diversity and everything. And I'd want to add on that, like I mentioned in a tweet thread where I'm going to have a lot of bubbles. We have to be honest with that. And I don't want to just like sit on a lot of bubbles. And so if you have any use cases that, you want to build, and I can give you bubbles to help make that possible, like please drop it in the Discord, let us know, because I'm like totally willing to kind of use these to help people create experiences in whatever way possible, whatever people want to go and do.
That's awesome, and definitely, I'm sure we'll have some community members taking you up on that. And even the Explorer that the community built staking interface is kind of built around. That was even before I was in the community, just by a community member. So that's been super impressive and useful also. And I think the more tools we have like that we can pull in, we're really gonna grow this thing together really quickly. So definitely excited for that. Maybe we can jump into some of the questions that we got in here. And if you have any questions and you're listening, I'm sure the AMA will bring up a bunch of new topics. So you can go jump in there. Subtle Gradient, you've got your hand up. Go for it.
I thought it was just a high five. No, I'm kidding. So, like, I missed the whole first half of this. So, like, my first question is, Nate, like, how did you find out about Axolittles and get involved in the first place?
Yeah, I would love to know that as well. So definitely when I found out about it was a time where I was definitely actively seeking out NFT mints. I think a lot of people were looking for the latest mint, the next one that's going to hit it big and stuff. I did follow different, rarity sites, like Rarity Tools, different newsletters and that sort of thing. I'd look at upcoming stuff, and then I'd have, different Discords I was a part of. I think generally my best minting opportunities were found through communities. Like, you just become part of a community, you make friends, you listen to what they're like getting into and what they're finding. And that is the best like quality filter, because there's actually some amount of like due diligence and checking, where sometimes more listing on a site is just kind of for quantity. The site wants to have more and more on it, all that. So definitely, I think friends, and especially if they're good at evaluating things on different axes, then it's really helpful to have that. But I can't point to a specific thing. I don't remember quite which one it was for Axolittles, because like I said, it was just a variety of mints all at the same time, just kind of going into. This was just the one I went the hardest on, because I actually liked the art. At first, like that was the first piece, and then like I explained, there's so many other factors. But I personally have a very hard time minting stuff if I don't like the art, because I want to believe that, like, okay, worst case scenario, this drops to nothing and it just sits in my wallet and I have to stare at it. I want to look at it and be like, well, at least I like the look of it. And I have some that, I don't feel that way about, and it's just painful every time, because you don't want to spend like $20 just to burn it. It's kind of pointless. So yeah.
Yeah, the axes are definitely mesmerizing. This is pretty cool. Subtle Gradient, do you have any more questions also for Nate before we'll pull in some things from the AMA too?
I don't know. It's like it's awkward with everybody listening in. Like I would love to chat at length offline about all these things also, where I can kind of flail without the embarrassment of everybody.
Well, I'd love to do that too. We can set something up. I'd actually be curious, did you answer that question in your AMA? I'd be curious to flip it back on you and hear how you first got into Axolittles.
Honestly, it was like it was Twitter. Like, so how I got involved in this is like, fast forward, rewind back to like when I was working on the Coinbase NFT project and it was like still secret. I was like, well, I can't work on a project if I don't have empathy, firsthand for what the people using this thing are going to be like. So like, let me, go and buy some NFTs. So like, as I'm working on this UI, I'm looking at some art that doesn't suck. Like, I want to see some stuff on there that's epic. So I reset my entire Twitter. I'm going to be NFT Twitter now. Like, I should have done it anonymously, but oh well, whatever. And so I just went out and I followed like NFT artists.
I think Nate feels your pain on that
I
one.
can attest to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. And I followed everybody whose art I liked. And then some of it I liked so much I had to buy it. Like, I could not stand the thought that someone else might own that thing and not me. And then like I followed like anybody whose taste I liked, I saw who followed them. So I followed a few of those people. Anybody who liked the same stuff that I liked, I followed them. And I just kind of like built out my network. And then I just kept seeing from people that I trust their taste, I just kept seeing more and more and more and more Axolittles just like popping up of just like, what is going on here? Like, what are these guys? Like, I hadn't done any collections at that point. It was all just one of one, like little, anime NFTs or whatever. And this Axolittles was the first like actual collection that I got into, and it was just like, it was so different from everything else because it's just like so much of the NFT art for some reason is like ugly and gross on purpose. It's like, why? It's so gross. I don't like it. And Axolittles is just like hard the opposite direction. You know what? No, we're going Nintendo style here. And it just like, it gave me that intense Nintendo vibe. And it's just like, I don't know what this is, but I need to be a part of it. And then I like joined the Discord and just like the party vibe of like when things were just like mooning that one day of just like, okay, I have to get in on this. Because like nobody at the time knew about Coinbase NFT, but I did. So I was like, well, these are gonna be popular, right? Like, so yep. I need to have some of these, and it's just like I probably bought more than I could afford to. But then like the ENS drop happened, and like now like all the NFTs I bought are paid for themselves with the ENS drop. Thanks, ENS guys.
I think there's a really good point in there. No, I think there's a really good point in there too about just the artistic difference here. And it's something I've wondered myself. I don't know if there's a clear answer, but it seems like there are a lot of NFT projects that come out that have more, grungy styles, more kind of, stuff like Bored Apes. And maybe that's part of the reason is that they set the standard and people look to that and go, oh, well, this works, so this art style must be the thing. But I imagine there's a decent amount of community members and crypto Twitter and stuff that also just happen to like that style. But I'm like you. I personally like cute things. I mean, it's just like,
right?
They're just fun to look at. And I think even if there's a current community bias as we look towards, the future, like there will be people who also want cute things. There will be people, who enjoy this art style. So even if it's not like the hottest art style right now, I mean, it's inevitable that, eventually we're going to get a more and more diverse group of people into the space who want more and more diverse things that they can collect. And so I think there's still a very exciting future for that.
100%, like underlining that. Because like, I work for Coinbase. You can't get more mainstream plus crypto than that, right? Like it's and just like going all in on
yeah.
like regular people, like, my wife, like, is she gonna like a Bored Ape? No. My daughters? No. Are they gonna be into all the like the anime one-of-ones that I'm into? Probably not. But like Nintendo is as mainstream as you get, but they go hard the opposite direction from everybody else in the gaming industry. And just like Axolittles just has that same vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Although
I'm glad you think
that's
like
awesome.
that. It's a good compliment.
Yeah, I would say that
Yeah,
my
especially
girlfriend might actually be interested in in the anime 101s, but that's the one difference that I noted. And I think the rest is the same.
And on the Nintendo side, Minnie, you've also mentioned a few times on here, just having this kind of built around that Nintendo style game. Do you want to chat a bit more about that too?
Yeah, I think I've talked about it so much that it's maybe ranting at this point. But yeah, Axolittles, I want to build some kind of, the aquarium and more broadly the Axolittles brand. I would like to build it, as you said, in the Nintendo style. So I guess you can feel it through the art. And the goal for the aquarium, as I was saying, is creating some kind of Animal Crossing style, fun, collaborative, collaborative with other projects. So there would be no competition, but also collaborative in a sense that you could invite your friends over in their world and show them your art style. You could show them NFTs on the walls of your little house. Whatever style you like, anime 101s or grungy stuff. And yeah, that's the vision I have. I think we don't have a good relaxing space to live around, I guess. This space is really stressful. You hear a lot about people burning out. It's really taxing on your health. So I don't trade NFTs, but I know a lot of people on Twitter. They're always there, 24/7. There's even a toxic culture, I would say, of grinding, always more. If you sleep, I've seen recently a tweet that said that if you sleep 8 hours a day, you're not really trying, to become someone in this space. And I think it's a really toxic mentality, and we should take a more chill approach, relax. I think the aquarium would be an embodiment of that sentiment.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear. Definitely, we want it to be a cool space to hang out in, and maybe put a hammock up in the corner of the aquarium. That could potentially be a good a good item for there. Cell Gradient, do you have you got your hand up there again, or is that a high five?
Why not both? So I really love that about this community is the collaborative approach of we're all gonna make it, right? And at Coinbase, it's like a rising tide lifts all boats. Of the CEO, Brian Armstrong, I think that's his name. Sorry, don't at me. So all the time he's constantly saying we're all in it together, right? Anything that's good for us is good for the rest of the entire community. So anything that's I'm seeing the way that Axolittles is doing their game and bringing in all these other projects of that to me smells like the metaverse. All these other games that are just very specific to one collection or one thing, that's not the metaverse. That's something else, this feels like one of the first forays into the actual metaverse, taking it from the Animal Crossing kind of point of view, and that's just that has such huge staying power.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a subset of the metaverse. I would say if the metaverse englobes everything, maybe it's a world where everyone can interact. Axolittles and the aquarium would be more of a closed space, but where you could chill with your friends, I guess. Because when I think about the metaverse, for me it would be like Minecraft with infinite players where everyone could interact, and maybe that's what Facebook with Meta is trying to build. But yeah, this would be more about regrouping people, building small communities. I guess not really small, but bringing in groups of friends together, and I think that's when real friendships and stuff like that emerges.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can think of it like VR chat if people are familiar with that, where generally the spaces are pretty closed in that it's a smaller group of people, but the connections, if you watch some YouTube videos from people in there, are really big and really massive, and people can get into some really deep things. And then on top of that, kind of what Subtle Gradient was talking about is that from the collaboration perspective, I mean, I think my dream would be able to, go into somebody's aquarium, like walk into it and look at something and be like, wow, that's like a really cool object in their room that they have, and click on it and be like, oh, that's from this NFT collection. I've never heard of that. Go check that out and like find something totally new. Like, I think that's the exciting part about this, is that you can have these subtle references to like all the projects across the space all coming together in like one piece where people can, people could have a crypto dad's like bear rug, if you saw my meme stuff from that, and like not even own a crypto dad, but like still just kind of represent, oh, like I like these things about him. And it's just kind of this, there's so many ways to draw attention to different awesome like communities in the space.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, all three of you, for jumping on that. I can see how some of these spaces could go for 2-3 hours. I think we could keep talking about that for a while. In the interest of time, I'm going to jump into some of these questions. We can kind of rapid fire through them, and I want to share some of the memes as well. Cool. So first question, I don't think we've answered, is just about touching on marketing drive and getting hype up again. Are there any updates on the strategies you plan to implement? I would say we're working on a lot of things in this front, so keep an eye out for announcements this week and next week, in addition to just around staking and the X Aquarium. We also, I can't share any details yet, but we'll have some campaigns leading up to Christmas and some big things happening around Christmas, so you should get excited for that. We're bringing in a lot of partners, and those will all be involved in that announcement and event that we're planning. So if you've seen a lot of our partner announcements, it'll all make sense how they all fit in together shortly. So definitely you can get excited for that. I think that's all I'll say on that front right now, but we have a lot planned in the pipeline.
Some very, very exciting partnerships upcoming.
Yeah. We're. I wish we could just share everything before as it comes in, but we're gonna be putting it all together and letting you know in a big update. Some really great people that we're talking to now. There's some questions about the last one being recorded. We'll get that up and out for you. Progress on X Aquarium, I think we already addressed that. And any early information on item prices, I don't think I can comment on that. I don't know, or actually, what I could say briefly about that is that I think they'll vary greatly depending on also our own in-game items versus some things with partners. So there may be different variations there. But what I would say is that we want to make this as accessible for everyone, and certain items will definitely be just made available or added as benefits for staking and things like that. I can't, I don't think, speak more to that. Minnie, do you want to jump in at all with as far as the actual items go around pricing, or did I kind of mention it there?
No, we currently don't have exact idea and prices for the items. I think we'd have. It's because currently we don't have the. So as I said, we have lashes in mind that you could buy with your bubbles, but I don't have an exact pricing, and I don't know how much we'll buy yet, because so I've been in contact with lashes manufacturer, and I have some warehouse where they could be stored, but it's not right now. I mean, so we'd have to see how much bubbles are in the economy, and how basically to price things fairly so that you could have enough to buy maybe a plushie and some items. And it's all depending on how many items you have, how many collabs, and everything like that. So we're still getting it figured out.
Yep, great. Cool. Next question here is just will we meet the other devs working on animations? I don't know about those devs specifically. Maybe many of you know if we can share information about them. I would say in general, I think this at least question speaks to just more transparency for me around everything that's being worked on. And so the way I'll address this question is just to say that we're definitely looking for more and more ways to share and be more transparent around the entire rollout process of all of our everything that we're building. So keep an eye out for that. I think, yeah, that's probably what I'll say about that question. But I think in general, we really aim to communicate that with the community more and more frequently so that you can get excited, because I think sometimes we're working on a ton of stuff that we're really excited about and we're waiting to share it, but maybe we can include the community earlier just so you can get a bit hyped about that too before everything actually ships, and so you know exactly when things are shipping. Next question. I've seen a few people ask if they need to delist. Nate, do you want to speak to this around the mechanics of listing, delisting, staking?
Yeah, totally. So you won't need to delist. However, it will automatically delist if you do stake. So the way to think about this is that when staking happens, you're essentially putting the NFT in the contract as if, like, you know, that contract is kind of functioning as another wallet. You put the Axolotl inside that contract, but that contract, you know, is defined in such a way that it knows who owns it and who can easily just pull it back out. So that's where unstaking comes in. There's no potential for anyone else to take out your Axolotl from within there. However, that means that platforms like OpenSea and other things will not be able to, you'll not be able to list your Axolotl on there, because platforms will see it as if the staking contract owns all these Axolotls. And there's just no permissioned way to actually make it for sale there. So you don't need to delist. You can just go ahead and stake. However, you should know that, like, that will through doing that, it will delist your Axolotl because it's no longer in your wallet. A similar thing way to think about this is, like, if I had an Axolotl listed and then I transferred it to somebody else, that Axolotl would automatically become delisted because I was the one who put it for sale. It is no longer owned by me. It's now owned by someone else. They haven't agreed to put it for sale. So it's kind of a similar thing here.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. And thanks for sharing that. Maybe we'll, as this whole space grows, it would be great to see. I don't even know the technical possibility of this, but of platforms like Coinbase incorporating staking contracts from projects so that people can actually see their staked Axos. But I don't know how difficult that is, but I'd love to have you build that solid gradient over there. Until then,
I can make it look pretty if somebody else builds it.
Great. Until then, we'll use our own platform, so you'll be able to see which ones you have staked on our platform, but won't see them on OpenSea anymore. Cool. Next one, question for Nate. Tell us, our whale, when LP?
Yeah, I'm actively watching my bubbles accrue. I think the thing with LP is you want to make sure you do it right. You want to make sure you set the right ratio, and you set it with the right coin and everything. So, I mean, I really want to think through tokenomics and feel like I've put it at a good, fair balance between probably Ethereum, you know, and then, yeah, hopefully soon, but we just got to see how many bubbles roll in.
Awesome. Cool. Next question is a shout out to the team. Thanks for the hard work. Not sure if the site is actually ready for staking, but for those of us who are already staked, you can 100% see your bubbles accumulating. It looks great. Thanks for that. And again, I guess I would just mention, thank you everyone for your patience on this. We should have this an update for you shortly here. And again, both the community interface and the one that we're building as well, they really are interfaces to the contract. So if you've directly staked on the contract, you'll be able to see that you're interacting with the contract. The interfaces are helping you see what's happening, but where everything, the way that people have staked so far is all looking good. And thanks for all your confidence too in us getting everything out and in staking. So we will be making that as easy as possible for you soon. We should have an update. Ideally, I don't want to promise any dates, but now that we've done so, but it should be either today. We're aiming for today still. And of course, the leak is that you can go to staking.axolittles.io right now and see the progress. But there's still some UI stuff to be done there. Cool. Shout out to Melon. Yes, awesome work over there. It's been really impressive to see. Question: does that have to pay gas to delist, or will it stack with the staking gas? Is that something you can answer, Nate?
Yeah. So you don't have to pay the gas to delist, even if you go and stake. I don't know how much you want to hear the technical details, but basically the way OpenSea works is that you sign you say, I want to sell this NFT. It has you sign a transaction, and the reason it's free is that you're basically signing this thing saying, I want to sell this for this amount, yada yada, and then it sends that to the back end of OpenSea. And when someone goes and purchases it, that's when the actual agreement gets pushed on chain, because you already have your signed part. And so, when someone goes to push that message on chain, part of that pushing on chain is validating, like, this is still true, right? Like, everything here is still true, as in, we're not past the expiration date for your agreement. You're still the owner for this NFT, all of those things. So the instant that, like, one of those conditions becomes false, in this case, you stake it, it goes to a separate address, your for sale message is no longer valid. And so because of that, you avoid, a delisting gas cost. You only have to pay the staking gas cost.
Cool. That makes sense. And I think maybe you can talk to this next one too, because you've worked with a few projects on Solana. Does Solana have the same issues with their marketplaces that staking on ETH has, making it so OpenSea cannot see your NFT? How does Solana handle this?
I'd have to see which projects have like an active staking mechanic. I don't know if I've like worked with any of those or not. The reason, I guess the reason that you can't actively see your NFT is that, like I said, it's going to be owned by a specific wallet that's like not seen as your wallet. I think there are some additional mechanics that Solana has for how account ownership is handled. I don't have a full grasp on it, but they do have some interesting permissioning things around how tokens are stored. It's a bit complex to go into, unless you have kind of a really good understanding of maybe how Ethereum does it and stuff. But their just account structure for holding tokens is different. And so there may be some opportunity there to permission things differently and kind of consider something as being staked. But I would expect that a lot of the patterns will transfer over, because that's usually what we see when things initially get developed on new technology, is that people will take the pre-existing patterns, apply those to here just in a one-to-one mapping, because that's the easiest way. It's what people are familiar with. And then eventually, maybe if it's possible, you'll see someone innovate and do it in a different way. So yeah.
Did we lose Zaytar?
Oh, I guess am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Awesome. Cool. I was just mentioning, I think it would be super interesting. People are mentioning here just having more of a technical discussion at some point for anyone who's interested. I think we could talk about this stuff for a long time, and it's super innovative what's happening. So in the interest of time here again, that was all the questions. I'm going to quickly share some of the memes in the main chat here that received the most stake emojis on them. We do seem to have a tie here, so for some I'll share the ones that got the top, and then I'm going to need everyone to jump in and break the tie here. So thank you again, everyone, for submitting these. I'm just going to post these links directly into the main chat to the memes. First one is from Pan. So congratulations, you got 10 stakes on your "We're all gonna wag you versus wag me" meme, which is pretty funny here. The next one that got the most is I have kind of mixed feelings about, because it involves me apparently eating little steaks and throwing them at some kind of doctor scan here. I'll share this one. It's a pretty intricate situation going on here, so go check that one out. It's a full video. Definitely all about the steak in that video.
There's some work put into that. I mean, I'm always impressed when people do video submissions for any of these.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a full 30-second video here, so this is pretty. I don't know if I want to say disturbing or impressive or both. It's great. And then we've got a couple ties here. I really like this one, the Say It Again mini staking. I'll share this one. So these are ones that are going to need tie break. So this is the first one from Juby. And then there's a second one with 8 down here, which is the final. It's like the Last Supper. I'll share this one in here too. So if you're listening right now, if you're in the main chat, please go vote on one of those. I think those were the only ones. There we go. Yep. Looks like the Last Supper has 9 now. So you'll have a few more minutes to vote on these, and then we'll determine a winner here. Congratulations to all the winners. Again, now we're tied again at 9, so please go in and vote on one of those, either the Chuby submission or the Braiders submission. And if you're the creator of one of these, you can make your case in the main chat for why people should go and vote for you. Cool. And I think with that wraps up our session for today. We went a little bit long, but thank you everyone for hanging out. Lots of exciting stuff coming up here. We're really excited to share. Thank you so much, Minnie, for joining. Nate, always really great to have you here. And of course, Subtle Gradient, you as well. Join anytime. We'd love to have you come and chat. So with that, peace out, everyone. Really looking forward to everything that's coming up here. Thanks for being an amazing community, as always.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is great.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you, Zaytar. Thank you, Nate, and Subtle Gradient.